could rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can everyone remain standing for 1 second? We're just going to have a moment of silence for Margie Gambino. She passed away earlier this month. Her husband was our highway superintendent for a while. Thank you. All right, so we're going to open up the public hearing for local law off-road vehicles, and a copy of the notice that was in the newspaper is up on the table, correct, Kathleen?
And copies of the law.
And copies of the local law. So if anyone from the public, well, let me go to the board members first. Any of the board members want to comment? Amanda? Carrie?
I don't have any comment.
No comment.
Okay. So if any of the board members, or any members of the public rather, would like to come up, just state your name for Kathleen for the record. Anyone can come up. You're limited to 3 minutes. So whoever would like to come up first.
Stuart Carver, you need my address? Just name. Good evening. I appreciate the board and the town supervisor bring this up and bring the law forth and stuff. I've been in Hidden Valley for since 1996 with my wife Mary and my 2 kids. We brought them up here, Minisink Valley graduates, all right? We live in a development with 100 houses, okay? We all have about a half an acre. There's colonials, split ranches, and so forth in Hidden Valley. It's a residential area. I came up here from Long Island for the tranquility, for the peace. You know, that's what everybody, I think, has come up here. You know, we're not, you know, Rockland County, we're not Long Island. You know, we still have a great neighborhood, all right? I have nothing against, like, dirt bikes and stuff like that. I really don't. I think it's great, you know, where the kids can do it. But not in a residential area like Hidden Valley or any so forth in the town of Mount Hope or anywhere, okay? I believe we have rights. We have rights for tranquility, for peace of mind. Not where I have to raise my, you know, close my windows and turn the TV up, or yelling at, you know, the folks in my, you know, household because I can't hear them over the noise in certain households with the dirt bikes and so forth. So that's what we're asking. We're just asking for our right to live peacefully. And like I said, once again, I love the word tranquility, you know, in our neighborhood or any other neighborhood within, you know, town of Mount Hope. I think there's a place for them, but not in a residential area like Hidden Valley. So, thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? Anthony Russo. I too have lived in Hidden Valley since 1990. I can understand some of my neighbors' complaints, but I think it's too overreaching what you're proposing for the town of Mount Hope. I own 80 acres next to my house, so me riding a quad now, all of a sudden is going to be an issue. That's ridiculous. I can understand lot sizes, developments. That's understandable. I understand with these people. I would not like that either, going lap around over and over all day long. But I believe the whole thing is definitely over. It's too broad, and there's tranquility. You don't have a right to tranquility. You have rights to others, and I don't believe I have a right to tranquility. But I do believe I know more people that own land around here. And what's that going to do for them and their quads and riding? So I'm against it. It should be more focused for what the situation is. And we're going to enact an overreaching law for the whole town of Mount Hope for one problem, for 1/2 acre lot in a development. And I think that is definitely far too overreaching for the town of Mount Hope.
Okay, thank you.
How you doing? Kerry Dool, Hidden Valley. I've lived in Hidden Valley since 1972. I was lucky enough to grow up there. and then get the house for my father, and I maintained a residence there. Most of the places that were back in the back there were farmland or dirt roads. I rode my dirt bike, my go-kart, and the local police made sure we stopped. Like Anthony, I think this law is a little bit overreaching. It's one family, one house. It essentially would stop you from using your side-by-side, your four-wheeler to plow your driveway at any time, all right? A local law is not needed. We have the vehicle and traffic law, we have the penal law, we have local ordinances. Officers can use their discretion and enforce those laws. This problem has been going on for over 10 years back there. It should have been addressed during your tenure. I don't know why it wasn't, I don't know if the board sat on you or whatever it was. But like Anthony said, this is way overreaching. I have sympathy for everybody back there. I don't go through there because it turns my stomach to see it back there. But this law does not need to be enforced or adopted the way it's written. It's an outright ban in the whole community, and it's not fair to the rest of the residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tom Strupp. I think I've been 18 years or so. We never had an issue with any of our neighbors. Everybody's helps each other plow the driveway, take out the garbage, what have you. I understand what these guys are saying with Carrie, but I think we'd all agree it's pretty much a localized issue. It's down at the bottom where we live, directly across from our house. We purchased, the decibel reader, it's read up to 78 or 82.
No, 89.
I apologize, 89. We're just looking for, again, like Stu said, some tranquility, some peace in there. I don't need it to close the windows, turn the TV up just so I can hear. It's just, some common decency is what we're really asking for, and that's really it.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Jim Finn, I've been here for a long time, to 1970.
You're the winner so far.
Yes. Yeah, top Mr. Dool there.
Now 72.
I agree, there's probably needs to be some kind of control there. I guess this is all about Hidden Valley. I just happened to catch it on the website and found it to be overreaching as well. Mr. Dool said something about being able to plow your driveway. Nobody would be able to, few people would be able to plow their driveway with their quad or four-wheeler or whatever. Everybody's within 250 feet, or a lot of people are within 250 feet. And another thing in there is the time frame. I think it's 7:30 to sunset to 7:30 a.m. I think it is. So if you needed to use your four-wheeler to plow the driveway, it would be difficult to do it. You stay ahead of it.
Sunset at 7
7 a.m. Okay. So that's my comment there. It's too overreaching.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Anyone else like to come up? Hey.
Diane Logan, totally separate angle from what everyone else is talking about. I was just curious, with the way it's written, it wasn't clear to me. Would this be applicable town-wide to include the village?
I don't know the answer to that question. No, I don't think so, but
Well, technically, the village has its own code, so this would be outside the village jurisdiction.
So the village would have to adopt its own.
correct.
So, and the reason I wasn't sure was on the second page where the definitions, the definition of private property is anything that's not public. Okay, but then under public property, the very last thing it says, or any other governmental entity rather. So, to me, I thought that might be referring to village-owned property, in which case, I thought that's what prompted me to ask if it would be applicable village-wide, but you're saying it would not.
Technically, no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Not that we have a lot of open space, but there are a few parcels that it could become an issue, so, thank you.
Understood, thank you.
Mary Carver, thank you again for looking at this. I understand sometimes there are always two sides of different things. And I guess one of the things is, we talk about quality of life and things like that. And one of the things that really strikes home for me is that when my neighbors come to me and say, well, I'm glad I don't live down there. Because maybe they don't hear it, but they're also say they recognize what the problem is, and they're like, hey, I'm glad I'm not there. So when you're out there, it is a little bit like listening to the track that was out in Middletown, right? You hear that constant going. So, there is some quality stuff there, and I know sometimes there's other sides of things, but, right where we are, we're on the front line there. So I think that's something you have to kind of consider. Thank you.
Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Nothing else? Okay, thank you. Any board members, comments at this point? Jim?
Just that's the issue with the plow, and I understand that's an issue. So we should modify that.
Okay.
Maybe we should go through one more time and modify some stuff and do it again. I don't know.
Okay.
Scott, I have a question. So like, if somebody owns a tract of land that's, let's say, 50, 60 acres, does all that applies to them as well?
It would be any property, the way it's written for. And I understand the concerns. I mean, the reality is, I think some of the definitions, regardless of property size, one of the things that we had discussed was the actual intent of the usage. So for instance, somebody with 80 acres, if they're using a quad or some type of motorized vehicle, the unreasonableness of that, I think, is probably diminished as opposed to somebody on a quarter acre or half acre parcel right along another adjacent. So there is some subjectivity to this local law, which I do understand some of the public's concerns, but I think the flip side is that also protects some of the other concerns on larger parcels if you're driving a quad or something through a 50-acre farm. I don't know if it would necessarily fit within the definition, which would be a violation of this drafted local law.
Okay, part two. You have a piece of property like that, and maybe 2 or 3 times a year you have 15 or 20 people come and ride on it for the day.
When you say come and ride on it, I mean,
Yep, so let's say you got 80 acres,
Mhm.
friends, and you have, invite friends and stuff over to go ride on your property
Mhm.
for the day, so they ride through trails or whatever. Would they include that too?
Again, it's a subjective type of interpretation. If this were to be passed as drafted, would that be deemed unreasonable for surrounding areas? I don't know if it necessarily would. If you're driving through a 50-acre parcel and you're hearing some intermittent noise, whether you're 500 feet, 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet from that property line to your neighbor, as opposed to what I think one of the more pressing concerns is smaller lots, just continuous hearing it constantly for hours. To your point, I don't think that would necessarily, I'm not the law enforcement personnel to make that decision, but
If we do this and that happens, and then what's the hearsay of?
well, it would be the discretion of the individual that works for the town to determine if there is an actual violation or not, depending on the facts and
So a
circumstances.
lawyer can't answer it, but the cops can.
Hey, Scott, I got a question for you. Can we narrow it to, I'm not sure exactly what the zone is called in that development, but can we, or any development, can you narrow it to only applying in certain zones? So in other words, residential development would be different than agricultural.
You can certainly, limit it to certain types of zoning classifications. I don't see why there's no issue with that.
Thank you. Carrie?
I see both sides here too. I mean, in the Hidden Valley issue, I've been there when I've been riding, and I agree that it's very loud, but I do also think, based on some of the concerns tonight, that it's a little broad the way that it is. So maybe if we could make some revisions by zones or property size, use for plows or things like that, I'd be more comfortable with it then.
Yeah, I agree. I think the intent is trying to address, it's not just one, there's been a couple places. There's one specifically, I think, in Hidden Valley that we're talking about. There've been a couple other places. But I also would like to see maybe if we can narrow it and try to fine tune it a little bit. So, should we just keep the public hearing open then?
That's up to you. I mean, this is, this is the first type of, I think, the first opportunity for comment. So if you want to keep it open, we can
Okay.
certainly you know, or close it. If we make the changes that are being discussed, I would say are not minor, so if you close it tonight, which you can do, making changes, you'd have to reopen another public hearing, so it's really what you feel most comfortable with as a board.
I'm comfortable closing it and then
Yeah.
refining it and then do another public hearing, I
Yeah,
think.
I think that probably makes the most sense.
Then let everyone then take a look at the new one and then go from there. So, we need a motion,
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
so motion and second to close the public hearing, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Ron. Need approval of the prior meeting minutes from November 4th.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Correspondence from the town clerk?
I have a letter from the New York State Department of Transportation with regard to the speed study for Tally Hill Road. I received another one for the same thing on Pine Grove Road. I have the draft 2025 town board meeting dates, the November budget modifications for approval, resignation from Dean Hasselmeyer, the resolution to appoint the interim town highway superintendent, and that is all that I have.
Thank you. We'll go to committee reports, board member reports. Jim?
Like I have tonight is if you have anything you want me to post on the electric board up front, just let me know.
I have the new DMV's info that came today, so.
So, I was gonna bring that up. So DMV, will be here Wednesday, November 27th. We'll post that up there, on our Facebook page. They're from 10 to 3:30 and they break for lunch from 12 to 1. The Menacing Valley Lions are having the craft fair this year. They hadn't had it in a couple of years, I think. But on December 14th from 9 to 3 at Menacing Valley Intermediate School. So that's a pretty large craft fair, so if you're into that, and it helps support a good group of people, so. Personally, I wanna thank, I know some firefighters from Otisville, a lot of firefighters from the Howells Fire Department, all throughout the county went to Greenwood Lake for a huge fire. And all I gotta say is, thank God we have Steve Newhouse as our executive, because everything's been like military, like he normally is, and he was way ahead of the governor. I just wanna say thank God, because if we ever had a problem like that, which could happen here, hopefully we never do, but, it was very organized, and, I wanna thank everybody that's been out there volunteering. I know it's pretty tough, especially with that kind of fire, so. And DMV will be coming again in December, but I'm not gonna post that till later on. So, that's all I got.
Karen?
The town parks committee will be having their first meeting this Saturday, the 23rd at 11 o'clock. They're meeting at the main pavilion at the park, and then we're gonna walk the park and kind of go over the uses. The next bicentennial meeting is here on November 26th at 7. I want to thank Amanda for all her work with the Veterans Day ceremony. It went very well. In the village of Otisville, their Christmas tree lighting and party will be on Friday, December 6th, starting at 6:15. And then the Patriot tree lighting is on Saturday, December 7th, starting at 6. And then Otisville Fire Department had their penny social this Saturday. They had a great turnout. I think it went very well. And then they are also having a breakfast with Santa on Sunday, December 8th.
Thank you.
There will be a planning board meeting this Wednesday, November 20th at 7 PM. And the veteran ceremony was well attended this year. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who helped out.
Just a couple quick things. Budget mods, we have to have our budget mods done by December 13th, the end of the year ones, because our last meeting and our last opportunity to do them is December 16th. So I'm gonna reach out for the department heads to make sure we get that done. And then also thank you, Amanda, for your work on the veterans. It was great. Dean, highway report?
Earlier this year, we declared our old truck number 9 surplus. As you recall, we put it through the auction site. We were only offered $6,300 for it. I told you I was gonna try a different auction site. We did. we got up to 7,000. So I guess the market's just not very good for used plow trucks right now, so rather than sit on it and store it over winter, I look for a motion to sell it for $7,000 to the high bidder. It's a 2005 International, old truck number 9.
Do you have the person's name,
I can get it.
do you? Did we already declare it? We already declared.
We already declared a surplus earlier this year.
You just referenced the
Yep,
auction
that's
site if you want, just for purposes of the resolution.
Yep.
Yeah, it was Auctions International was first, it was Auctions AAR as their initials.
All right, need a motion to dispose of the 2005 International Truck 9 to the highest bidder from AAR for $7,000.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second the motion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Anything else, Dean?
No, all our trucks are just about ready for winter. I guess there's a possibility we might start seeing winter weather in a week or so we'll be ready.
Okay. Perfect.
I won't, but.
Any questions? Okay. Mike?
I don't really have anything, I know it's a new business, but obviously we all know that he's retiring, and I just wanna wish him well in retirement, well deserved. It's been a pleasure working with you for the past 6 years, it really has been. Unless anyone has any questions, I don't have any.
Village of Otisville.
I'm right here.
Brian, here you go.
The only thing I want to add is the Orange County Mobile DMV will be at Village Hall Friday, 10 to 3:30, lunch from 12 to 1. Thank you to the town board, especially Amanda for the VFW event. Sorry, I lost my voice the other day. I know it is. Sorry. And that's all I got. That's all I got.
Perfect. Old business, we have Hidden Valley Sewer. We had the meeting last Thursday night at the senior center. It went very well. We had a presentation. We got today I got the report from H2O, so the average gallons in October that we processed was 19,000. Our max was 24, so that's that's really excellent. New business. Need a motion to adopt the town board meeting dates for 2025 as distributed.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to surplus an ASUS laptop from the building department, and we'll take the hard drive out of it. Does not work.
Good motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. So I think a meeting or 2 meetings ago, we did a resolution to lower the speed limit, or request a lowering of the speed limit on Pine Grove Road. We submitted it to New York State. They got back to us. The length of the road is not long enough as we adopted it, so we would need to do a new motion to lower the speed limit on Pine Grove from New Vernon Road to the Town of Walk Hill line.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So
It's
carried.
really not the correct. It goes from New Vernon Road to Howell's Turnpike.
Yes.
Howell's Turnpike then carries out to the town of Walk Hill line.
Yes. They said just to make a motion, Pine Grove from New Vernon
Okay.
to, the engineer from the state said that would be sufficient. So, the road is only 650 feet long, and they require a minimum of 1,300 feet to lower speed limit. So that's what the basis is of this.
So you're leaving it at New Vernon Road to Town of Walk Hill Town Line?
Correct. I don't know if that's how New York State has it, but that's what they sent in the
That's
email.
not, no.
So I know, I looked at it on the map as well, it says House Turnpike, so.
Now, their inventory of roads also has it the way I saw it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. So we need the November budget modifications. Kathleen, can you read those?
Increase AA 1440.4 engineer contractual expense, $3,942.50. Decrease AA 1620.4 buildings contractual expenses by $3,942.50. Increase AA 5010.4 street administration contractual expense by $414.48. Decrease A 1620.4 buildings contractual expense for $14.48. Increase AA 7140.4 playgrounds and youth recreation expense, $829.87. Decrease A 7140.1 playground and youth recreation personal services, $829.87. Increase A 8745.4 floor and erosion, I think it's flood and erosion contractual expense by $1,560. Decrease A 1620.4 buildings contractual expense, $1,560. Increase SS 8130.4 sewage treatment plant contractual expense, $17,776.56. Decrease SS 9010.8 New York State and local retirement by $106.84. Decrease SS 9030.8 Social Security employment benefits, $1,176.96. Decrease SS 9040.8 workers' comp employee benefits, $1,492.76. Decrease SS 9710.7 bond interest, $15,000 to provide for the contract. Increase A 1220.1 supervisors personal services by $3,000. Decrease A 1620.4 buildings contractual expenses by $3,000. Increase A 1989.4 other general governmental support services, $1,200. Decrease A 1620.4 buildings contractual expenses, $1,200. Increase A 3120.2 police equipment by $43,722.50. Decrease A 3120.1 police personnel services, $43,722.50. And increase B 3620.4 safety inspection contractual expense by $1,000. Decrease B 3620.1 safety inspection personnel services by $1,000.
Need a motion?
Make
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to approve the use of the new logo, which everyone was distributed?
I'll make the motion.
Need a second?
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to authorize myself to sign the contract with NAS for the youth center fire alarm system. Need a second?
I'll second.
Opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. At this time, Sean, if you could step up. So, at the last meeting, we had Sean's resignation we acted upon. And tonight, on behalf of the town, we wanted to offer you a certificate of appreciation and recognition for your loyal service to our community and dedication to the police department.
Thank you.
So need a motion to authorize the supervisor to sign a contract with Comp Alliance for our workers' comp insurance for 2025. So we saw a decrease in the policy cost by 5%. So the cost for next year will be $57,321. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Need a motion to accept the resignation / retirement of Dean Hassemeyer, Highway Superintendent, effective November 30th, 2024. No, made a motion, Dean. There's a motion, second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So carried, with regret.
Yes.
Yes.
Kathleen, can you read the next motion? For Andrew, you have that?
Okay, I just have what you gave me. Motion to appoint Andrew Pingati
Oh,
for,
do we have to do that whole big resolution?
oh, that big one?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I can read it.
I was like, I couldn't read it. Whereas the current town highway superintendent for the town of Mount Hope, Dean Hassemeyer, submitted his formal resignation and is retiring effective November 30th, 2024, and whereas the term for current town highway superintendent is set to expire on December 31st, 2025, and whereas the elected office of town highway superintendent will appear on the ballot for 2025 election calendar, with the successful candidate taking office on or about January 2026. And whereas New York Town Law 32 provides that the Deputy Superintendent of Highways shall be vested with all of the powers and duties of the Town Highway Superintendent as provided by law in the absence of a Town Highway Superintendent. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Mount Hope desires for Deputy Town Highway Superintendent Andrew Pingati to be appointed as interim Town Highway Superintendent, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Mount Hope hereby resolves as follows. Andrew Pingati shall be appointed as interim Town Highway Superintendent. The Constitution oath of office shall be taken and filed as soon as practical. The duties of the interim Town Highway Superintendent shall conclude at 11:59 p.m. on December 31st, 2025. This resolution shall take effect immediately. And then we do a roll call vote.
Do we have to actually make the motion and second it, and then do a roll call? Is that how we have to do it? Okay, so we need a motion,
I'll make the motion.
a second?
A second.
Okay, roll call vote. Jim?
Yay.
Chris?
Yay.
I'm a yay.
Yay.
Yay. Congratulations, Andrew. Need a motion to authorize the paying of bills, abstracts 44 and 45.
I make the motion to share bills.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Public participation. Any member of the public that would like to come up, can you come up to the podium? And you'll be limited to 3 minutes. Chris will keep track. Who would like to come first? Mary Beth?
Mary Beth Persepa. The Pocatello Ladies Auxiliary is having a vendor fair December 1 from 10 to 3 at the Pocatello Firehouse. The following Sunday, December 8th, from 7 a.m. to noon, the Pocatello Fire Company is doing a pancake breakfast. Come out and support one of your local fire departments. We would greatly appreciate any funds that anybody who wishes to come out.
Thank you. Anybody else? Like to come up? Any member of the public? Good. Okay, board comments. So I'd like to start. Dean, I'd like to thank you for your service. I would have to say, I was thinking about this today. Since my time as the police chief and then here, I don't think you've ever said no to anything, quite honestly. Even if it was difficult, you always tried to make it work, and I appreciate that, and I want to thank you for that. We have a couple things for you, but we'll go through the list, or go around the table first, if anyone wants to comment. Jim?
Just, Dean, I wish you the best in your retirement. Mr. Burke, I also, wish you the best. I know they had a nice little ceremony at the school for you, so you were well known and well liked there, so thank you for your service at the SR officer. And I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. That's it.
Dean, I just want to say to you, there was never a moment if I came to you with something, you didn't steer me in the right direction, and I would appreciate that, especially when I first started, so you'll be truly missed. I know where you live, so I can come visit you. Thank you, and same for Sean. Sean, thank you very much, and I know the school's gonna miss you, everything over there, so I thank you both.
Sean, also again, thank you. I saw the ceremony at the school. It looked really cute, what the kids did for you. And Dean, you're gonna be greatly missed. I know I haven't been here very long with you, but you're an asset to the town. Enjoy your retirement. And happy Thanksgiving.
Congratulations.
Everyone all Happy Thanksgiving as well.
Congratulations to you, Sean, as well.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So before we go, two things. We have cake for when we're done and coffee. So everyone's asked to stay, but if Dean, you wanna, I don't know, where's a good place to stand to do this? So we have two things for you, Dean. And Janet, do you wanna come, because you have something too for Dean? Wanna do it here? So Dean, we have a sign that we had made up for you to recognize your entire time with the town from 1998 until currently. So we have that. And then, in addition, we have a plaque in recognition of your 16 years of dedicated service and leadership to the town of Mount Hope as the highway superintendent. So this is for the highway superintendent time as well. So, and then Janet. Well, I'm sorry. We can do pictures when we're done, but we'll.
We'll do that for now, but you'll.
Okay, great.
Okay, and Dean, I just want to wish you the best of luck on your retirement. It was a pleasure working with you those 6 years. And I would like to present you with a Distinguished Service Award from the County of Orange, presented to Dean Hassenmeyer for 26 years of service with the town of Mount Hope for outstanding community service and dedicated individual efforts within this day.
Thank you.
So congratulations again, enjoy.
Speak before we adjourn.
Thank you all. It was, I was shocked, actually. I didn't expect all this. But it's gonna be bittersweet. I'm gonna miss the town. It's been a long time. But thank you, everybody in the public.
Thank you. We need everyone to stay to eat the cake, because we have a big cake, but, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thanks, everyone.
They are when you're not
That's why. Because they said.